So it is, excuse me, officially hurricane season, September. And if it's one of the takeaways I had from Hurricane Milton last year was that after, good, was that after Hurricane Milton, it did not rain for several months. So my koi pond, all my plants, speaking of which, here's my 10-foot tall night blooming Cereus. Last night it bloomed again for the about 5th time. Here's one of the older blooms from a few weeks ago. It's bloomed about, and by the way, here's more on the way. This has bloomed about 6 times this season, and there are plenty more on the way. Like tonight, this one will open up, and I'll take another video tonight. That one. These already opened up last night. This will open tonight. That'll open up tonight. Those opened up last night. And all of these should open up tonight. Here's that one opened up last night. This one will open up tonight. That was last night. This will be tonight. That'll be tonight. That was last night. And most of these were also last night. This plant is so prolific that I don't even take pictures anymore when it blooms, because it blooms so much. Last summer it had like I think 50 blooms one night, which was a record. What's super cool is that I used to keep numerous cuttings because they're so easy to take cuttings. And I had pots and pots and pots of night blooming Cereus. And finally, I just got tired of them all. And I put them out here in my front yard, where I'm going to go in a second. But you'll see, when I just threw them over under this tree, one of them is getting ready to bloom. And that was a cutting from just last year. I had no idea they would bloom that fast. Check this out. Okay, so I had all these cuttings. So I just threw them in this tree. I was tired of night blooming Cereus cuttings. Here's more. There's more. And there's more. Okay, I just threw them in this tree, and I just threw them along the base of the tree. And I just thought, well, whatever grows, grows. Whatever doesn't, doesn't. And this was just last summer. Check this out. Check that out. That's going to bloom tonight. That is a cutting less than a year old. I didn't even notice this bloom until earlier today. In fact, that brings me back to the start of the video. So after Hurricane Milton, there was no rain for a few months. So my water rain barrel collection is very important to me. There's a rain barrel here, which used to be here. And when I needed, when the barrel would fill up, I would use this pump, and I would pump it into one of my water tanks. That one or that one. So to reiterate, the rain barrel was there, and then I would use the filter to go into there. And this was as a result of the drought that happened after Hurricane Milton last year. There was no rain for several months. And when I needed to water my plants, we've already been through my gorgeous, amazing 10-foot Cereus, but check these other plants out. For anybody who's followed me before, you might recall that I built this bamboo and I put this shade so that I could put a lot of my shade requiring plants along here. However, somewhere it just became too clear that I didn't have enough bamboo. That space between the sunshade and the bamboo may not look like much, but it was enough to burn whatever was here. So I had to move my plants to another place. And the perfect spot for my shade requiring plants became the area behind my shed, which is where I brought a lot of my plants. Here's a nice big tall corn plant. These are my favorites. That's my philodendron biliaceae. I'm making a ground covering of Swedish ivy. This alocasia poly never produced a leaf that big until bringing it out here. And here's my other philodendron biliaceae. These are sort of exotic, little pricey plants, and they're so cool. But also back here is another corn plant that's 6 feet tall. A fiddle leaf fig that I rescued from Lowe's 2 years ago that was dying. And it likes all this shade. I don't know what these are. It's a type of philodendron, but it grows on my moss pole. And there's another one. And they're doing well back here. There's just a typical pothos growing up my moss pole. My dad's orchids that are surviving but not blooming. And here's a nice, look at this elephant ear plant. That was also a Lowe's 50% off clearance several months ago, and it loves it back here. A nice 6-foot Dracaena. Another one of these philodendrons growing up a moss pool. I think this is a type of elephant ear, another monstera. And this is my big monstera. His name is Terry. He used to be in my bedroom, then he got so big that I had to bring him out here. And I don't know what this is called, but it loves it back here in the shade as well. As does this, I think it's an umbrella plant. And I don't remember what this is called, but it's doing well back here. As is the other elephant ear that was on clearance at 50% at Lowe's several months ago. It seems to like it back here. This monstera is not happy. It needs to be put in the ground and or moved. It's surviving, but it's begging me to do something else with it. And I've just been too busy. Even this one that was also part of the same pot that I separated, it's even doing better just because I put it in the ground. And I think this is also an elephant ear, I forget. And this is my other Lowe's dying plant that needed some TLC, another fiddle leaf fig. And I think I put it in too much darkness. It's okay, and it might actually do all right, but I kind of put it back there behind all those palms. Finally, we have this corn plant, which somehow fell down. I don't know what this is called. My neighbor gave it to me. I stuck it in the ground, and it's growing very well. And here's also a fun update. I put this raised garden bed there at least 2, if not 3 years ago. Lots of compost, but the vegetables I planted never made it. Then I found on Craigslist somebody was giving away these Mexican sunflower cuttings. So I stuck them in there when they were like 10, 12 inches high, and they've taken off. They haven't bloomed yet, but they seem to like it there. So all that takes me back to rainwater capturing. It's crucial that I capture it, because the water here in St. Pete is horrible. The city admits you should boil it or let it run for 10 minutes before using it. It's horrible for plants and people. So after learning from last year, after Hurricane Milton, going 3 months without water, I started bringing in these water tanks. And I used the pump, to move the water from the rain barrel to one of the water tanks. I have 2 of them here, as you can see. I'm about to get a 3rd one and put right there in the middle. But anyway, so I used the pump to take the water from the rain barrel to one of these, and the rain barrel was right there. But now I moved it, and it's right there, and then it's elevated. I covered it with bamboo, and I put some PVC to connect from the rain barrel to this water tank. And I didn't realize how fast a 50-gallon rain barrel fills up, but just an hour of a good rain and it fills up. So now when it fills up, it's going to go into this 250-gallon water tank, which still has some space. This ugly mess was Flex putty and Flex spray to make sure that doesn't leak, and it works very well. There is no leaks. I wish I could say the same for this, but it leaks a little bit, but that's all right. So that's what I did. I put the rain barrel there, then I took out the spouting and I hung this chain so that now when it rains, it goes into the rain barrel. And today I covered the whole thing with bamboo. Here's the on-off valve. So that's what I did. I covered the rain barrel, and then I put varnish, polyurethane, whatever, on it, as well as this gate. I did it here, and you can see where I didn't get to it right here. You can see the difference. Polyurethane, and then I ran out. But getting that chain getting the water to flow just from the chain and not everywhere else was not an easy task. But now it does. It does pretty well, actually. So I'm quite exhausted and tired. That's what I did. But I'm going to make another video tonight showing this bloom. Oh, and the other thing I did today or yesterday was put that flower garden border down. It was just hanging around in my backyard. I had got it to use it to weight down a cheap, stupid little greenhouse from Amazon, which was nothing more than a waste of time. But the flower bed borders were just hanging around back here. Here's one more. So I put them there. Again, here's the water tanks. I still can't decide what to do with this thing, the RV. My inclination is to keep it and to just have it as an extra space. If I ever had company come over and if I ever need some more space. What the fuck? Every time I gotta use the flash, my camera. Oh, I'm not gonna mess with this. It's not that much to see. It's just an RV. Let's get the fuck out of here. So anyway, that's the RV. It is coming along, and I love this carpet I put down. So again, I am really tired. I got a lot done. The other little update are these two blooming flowers that are climbing up that pole, as is this one. It's going up there. So again, back to the rainwater and the importance of collecting it. It's also for my koi pond. These guys can't handle tap water. So, of course, last year during Hurricane Milton, if I knew how to edit videos and blah, 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 I would show a picture of it, but I'm not doing that. But last year after Milton, this whole thing was just, everything was covered with water and mud. And this whole koi pond was covered with mud, but the fish survived. But anyway, during droughts, these poor little fishies need good water. Excuse me, not the stuff that comes from St. Pete. They're hiding, but there's two 6-inch goldfish, one 6-inch koi, and then there's some baby guppies and platies who are very hard to find. There goes a goldfish. There's 2 goldfish. This is fun. I love having this koi pond, especially since it was free. People move, ditch, die, whatever, and just nice to get things that other people discarded. So that's what I did today, was work on the rain barrel and cover it with some bamboo. Gotta throw that stuff away. And that's it. Thanks for watching, man.